Thank you, Cheryl. That was a wonderful introduction. I started to wonder who she was talking about. I am thrilled to look around this room and see so many old friends and passionate activists for our students. It is such an honor to be your president and to lead the fight for our students, our public schools, and our association. I've been a proud MSEA member as a first-year teacher, as a working mom, and now as a recent new grandmother. At every stage, thank you. At every stage of my career, the association has never let me down. It's always had my back. And now, as your president, I will have your back, standing up and advocating for what we, together as an association, believe is best for Maryland schools and students. But I'd like to talk for a minute about someone who's made amazing contributions to humanity, despite the fact that he didn't even graduate from a Maryland public school. Later in his life, Albert Einstein was asked what his second greatest idea was after the theory of relativity. You wonder what was going through his mind as he weighed all the options. The world's most famous equation, E equals mc squared. Contributions to physics and science that challenged our understanding of the world. His ideas on politics, religion, and ethics. After a lifetime of intellectual challenges bested, Einstein thought for a moment and then he replied, his second greatest idea, he said, was to add an egg while cooking his soup in order to produce a soft-boiled egg without having to wash an extra pot. As a science teacher, Einstein is close to my heart, and as someone who doesn't love washing dishes, he's even closer. What's amazing is that in the midst of all his accomplishments, he focused on solving a challenge on the most basic level: how to avoid washing that one extra pot. In the midst of our celebration of accomplishments, like Maryland's 4th year in a row as the #1 ranked public school system in the country, our 4th year in a row leading the nation in AP achievement, and the highest high school graduation rate in state history, there are so many basic challenges that we can't ignore. And unfortunately, they're much more serious than Einstein's efforts to avoid washing dishes. The cover story in the most recent issue of Action Line reported on Maryland's more than 14,000 homeless students. These children are 4 times more likely to show delayed development. They go hungry at twice the rate of other children. And there are more and more of them in our schools. The U.S. Department of Education found a 13% increase in the homeless students between 2011 and 2012. Beyond all the politics and rhetoric, these are the challenges we deal with every day as educators. How do we help our students when sometimes their most basic needs are unmet? I'll tell you this: for every challenge, there are educators ready to stand up. Recently, MSEA's Human and Civil Rights Committee held a forum with families of homeless students and the educators who work with them. Pupil personnel worker Christine Erickson Perdermo from Anne Arundel County brought a high schooler living in a hotel with his family. He couldn't stop talking about the support he was receiving from Ms. Perdermo and how she helped him to adjust as they moved from place to place. He was determined to graduate and go to college. At that forum, TABCO member Van Youngblood said that sometimes you can't allow a no from a bureaucratic system to be a no for students in need. Many of you do that year in and year out by digging into your own pockets to buy supplies, or materials for extracurriculars whose budgets were cut, or clothes, or coats, and food for students who just don't have them. For every challenge, there are educators ready to stand up. Marilyn Green, president of the ESP local in Kent County, where I taught for 32 years, is helping homeless students with a coat drive this winter. Every year, Carroll County's Becky Waldeck and Kim Robeson organize one of the biggest Read Across America celebrations in the state, putting books in the hands of 1,500 children. Helen Tasker in Washington County works with students, parents, and other educators to spread the word about bullying prevention, talking about bullies that have been held accountable, received help, and are now on the way to living changed lives. As you can see from this next video, the examples go on and on.
My sorority is Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and I belong to the Iota Gamma Mega chapter in Prince George's County. And we're so involved in the community. Just one way is by giving back in school supplies. And the school supplies that we give back is abundant. And just to look at the faces of the parents and those members in the community to see how many school supplies we're giving out, it's phenomenal. I also know that we do tutoring in the community of Suitland, and that's important because, again, we're giving back in a way that a parent in that community may not be able to afford to show that their child is behind in some areas, but may not be able to afford to get them where they need to be.
I represent public education in my community by being a member of several scholarship committees, both from my alma mater, also at my church, and I'm also a member of the Mayor's Educational Advisory Commission. We meet monthly and try to help the mayor work with the public school system, the Board of Education, so that our students will be successful.
At my school, we have a mentoring program for 4th and 5th grade boys that we actually meet once a month just to talk about different issues within the schools or the community, again, pertaining to bullying, but also grades as well as behaviors, so just why it's important to try hard in school. Our motto at my school is Freetown is college bound, so really just try to promote education and just the importance of the education.
I mentor students by closed drive. I mentor students that have lost loved ones in their life because of past experience. I am able to mentor them and to direct them. Fundraisers, we do a lot of fundraisers. We do field trips, and we go to like hospitals and things that where they can actually see things out there to make them want to succeed or not to find themselves in that position.
I work with the Central Office Employee Committee promoting food drives and clothing drives, as well as in the wintertime we have drives to collect toiletries and stuff for local citizens. And currently I joined another committee that is called Team Hope, and with that we raise money for people in Frederick County that can't afford to have mammograms. So that money goes towards that, and we're saving lives.
I don't care what the ridiculous anti-educator rhetoric says. You don't do your job just to make a living and go home. You don't ignore challenges out of the love of some mythological status quo. You embrace challenges and you succeed in the face of them. We're here because we want to make a difference in the lives of children, and we will do whatever it takes to help them succeed. If you have ever mentored a student, come in early or stayed late to give extra tutoring, dug into your own pocket to provide something for your students, written letters of recommendation, visited hospitals or detention centers, or even attended funerals. Because of your commitment to public schools and Maryland Futures, I want you to stand up and give each other a hand. If you've done any of those things, Look around this room. Look around this room. You are what our profession is all about. Of course, there are always challenges beyond the daily work in our schools. We've got a critical election just weeks away, and we have got to stand up for our profession by re-electing President Obama. He shares our vision for an America where we all have a fair shot at the American dream. He's worked to keep 300,000 educators in the classroom and save 160,000 educator jobs through the Educator Jobs Act. He's expanded Head Start and Early Head Start access, and he's fought to keep college more affordable for our graduates. Mitt Romney has a very different view of America, one where the wealthy deserve even more tax breaks, class size doesn't matter, and corporations are people, but unions are dangerous. We've got two very different visions in this election, and I believe that we have a very clear choice. We also have opportunities to take critical votes for fairness and social justice right here in Maryland. I urge you to vote for question 4 because students who can attend college are more likely to stay out of poverty, own a home, and raise more highly educated children. And I urge you to vote for question 6 because when civil marriage protections are extended to same-sex couples, it sends a powerful protective message to gay and lesbian students who are often subject to bullying. And it extends full justice, full benefits, and legal rights to gay and lesbian educators. This is a tough, emotional election, and I understand and respect the diversity of opinion in this room and in our association. But we've come together to chart a course for the future and stand up for the candidates and issues that we believe are best for our students. I applaud all of the members who are volunteering to help out in the President's campaign, in the state referenda campaigns, and in congressional and local races. And some of our challenges go past elections. This year, districts across the state are engaged in a no-fault pilot of new evaluation systems. These systems will go live next year. Common Core curriculum and new park assessments will come online in just a few short years. As we implement these major reforms, educator involvement is especially important. Why? Because education reform without educator input is doomed to fail. Cheryl, Bridget Blue of Prince George's County, Melita Kitchen of Howard County, and Dawn Pipkin of St. Mary's County and I have been on the Educator Effectiveness Council fighting for fair, effective, and transparent evaluations. And we've come a long way. No longer do test scores trump every other factor in the evaluation framework, which would have reduced students to Scantron sheets and completely marginalized educators' professional practice. There's also greater nuance in the evaluation categories, with a whole new category for teachers who are developing. There's been incredible collaborative work at the local level, too. If you've been working on a local evaluation team, I want you to stand up and be recognized. Anybody who's been on a local team. These people are working on behalf of all of us. Thank you for your hard work on behalf of your colleagues and students. You are truly standing up for the future. of our schools by making sure that evaluation systems are rigorous, research-based, and right for students. But we're not there yet. And right now, we've hit a bit of a snag with the State Department over the percentage weight of MSA scores. I hope that we can find a solution that will not compromise the collaboration that's taken place on the local level. We need to develop an evaluation tool that truly enhances teaching and learning, not just meets the standards that were set in the application prior to any field testing or sustained local collaboration. Colleagues, we stand up for our students, our schools, and Maryland's future every day of the year, whether it's buying a coat for a child who doesn't have one, helping a student realize their potential, giving to PAC, or working to develop strong, fair evaluation systems. For every challenge we face, there are educators ready to stand up and face them. Many years ago, when he wasn't changing the way we think about the universe or making soft-boiled eggs, Albert Einstein gave a talk to a group of school children. He told them, "Bear in mind that the wonderful things you learn in your schools are the work of many generations, produced by enthusiastic effort and infinite labor in every country of the world. All this is put into your hands as your inheritance in order that you may receive it, honor it, add to it, and one day faithfully hand it on to your children. Educators are the critical link in this chain, passing the torch of knowledge and imagination from generation to generation." I want to thank you for the wonderful job that you do every day for our children, despite the challenges you face, despite the negative rhetoric you hear, despite the long, hard hours. What you do is incredibly important, and you are doing an outstanding job for Maryland's children. With the highest honor, the highest responsibility, and the highest privilege of educating the next generation, we will continue to stand up to every challenge we face as educators and as an association. And I am looking forward to working and fighting alongside you. Thank you.